Okay, I hope there's already someone here and I can start. To be honest, I don't see that did you came here or not, so maybe I will start and I hope you are there. Okay, so welcome everyone on my presentation. Today I will have a chance to explain to you a little bit why I truly believe that QAs are the guardians of quality and and why you shouldn't let anybody tell is otherwise. My name is Joanna Zembaczyńska, and maybe at the beginning I will introduce myself a little bit. Okay, so I started working in IT about 10 years ago as a regular QA. At this time, I think even more tester than a QA. Now I'm working for TSH, which is the software house in Gliwice, as a QA team manager. But before I came to IT and before I started my work as a quality assurance, I do a lot of different stuffs. To be honest, not much connected with IT, with testing, with software development. And why I'm telling you that? Because maybe probably some of you here are now at the beginning of the path, and maybe you think that you are not fit to the community because you didn't have the right school. I finished European studies, so you might believe how much it's needed when you are working as a QA. You are fit. The whole experience you get from your previous job will help you here to be a better QA, to have a better understanding of our customers, of how people will use the application that you will be testing. So believe me, you fit, and just treat the things you learn during your previous job or during your studies as something you can learn from and you can use it doing tests, being a QA. For me, I have, as I was mentioned, I work in so many different places. I was makeup artist, assistant to the director. I even work in gift shop at Jasionka in Rzeszów, which is, I think, quite similar airport like Radom, so there was not so many customers there. However, each my occupation, each job I have, teach me something that I can use as a QA. And I also have a chance to be a hostess during the Electric Entertainment Expo. Fortunately, it was at the time when Wiedźmin 3 has a premiere, so it was really nice to tell that you are from Poland. I was really happy it wasn't the time that Cyberpunk was in. What's more about me? I love dogs. You see my two dogs, Geralt and Jaskier here, and also my cat, who is not longer with us, Stefan, and who those of you have been in Woodstock Festival, now Poland Rock Festival, I have a chance to be a voluntary in Pokojowy Patrol, which gives me a very good lesson of teamwork, which I can also use in my Scrum teams, because you are a team and teamwork is the base, the most important thing working as a part of the team. Yeah. Okay. So what we'll be talking today about? First of all, I would like to explain to you maybe why some people think that QA role sometimes is unnecessary. Why sometimes they think like that, and what you can do about it. I think this part will be more interesting to you. Then I will explain a little bit how you can show the business value of a QA role in your organization, in your teams. Then maybe a little bit about how to teach being responsible for the quality, the whole Scrum team. And of course, at the end, we'll get some small sum up why you should think that you are a guardians of quality. And here I would like to give the credits for this title to Ola, who used to work in my team, because I didn't came up with this great name. It was her idea, but I really like it, and I base my whole presentation based on this title. So yeah, Ola, thank you once more. Okay, and because we are superheroes here, so what kind of superhero movie will be if we do not have post-credit scenes? So yeah, we will also have post-credit scenes, especially for you, but we will come to this at the end of our presentation. Okay, so why some people think that the role of QA is unnecessary? Especially now when, as at what is the moment in IT? there's a lot of layoffs. The times are a little bit shaking, so it's easier to say, okay, we can have software developed without QA, but not without developers. So maybe we don't need a QA role. And at this moment, it's really good to show your perspective, how to explain that your role is necessary and even cost efficiency, which I tell you and explain later. But start from the beginning. Why some people think that QA role is unnecessary? And I gather some allegations about this. So first of all, this is Joanna. Joanna has a lot of different and tedious testing, so she doesn't like to do this. Then we have developers that they are nearly breakdown because QA said, you're not gonna go to the production, no way, after my dead body. So yeah, this is another reason why they think that QAs might be not necessarily good part of the team. Then we have stakeholders who strongly believe that those test scenarios that were proposed by the QA are not testing the parts that they are need to, so why bother? And in the end, my favorite, stakeholders who are furious and they don't want to work with QA anymore because they didn't go live with the product that they are waiting for it. Yeah, in the last picture, this is me from the previous Woodstock. So yeah, there was heavy rain back the time. Okay, so let's start from the accusation. Once again, QA stopped the launch. The stakeholders are furious. First of all, you have to understand that for stakeholders, it's a really unpleasant surprise in most cases. And just imagine you are going to the holidays that you are waiting for whole year. Yeah, you are packed, you are already on the airport or in a bus or in a car, and then someone told you that there will be no vacation this year. Or maybe they will be in 3 months from now, but just for 2 days, not whole 2 weeks. The first thing, even if the reason is valid, but the first thing you are feeling inside you is like you are so much disappointed, yeah? Because you were counting on something, you were hoping that something will happen, and then it didn't. And the same feelings have your stakeholders. So first of all, you have to think about it, that they are just sad, furious, maybe devastated in some cases because they are really waiting for this launch. And when you understand the emotions that they have, it will be easier for you to communicate with them. Yeah. So first of all, they're just sad and disappointed. Yeah. And you have to somehow mitigate also those feelings. Then you have to think about it. Did the stakeholder of developer teams know that this launch might be delayed? Yeah. Did you, as a QA, inform them that you see some reasons that you should postpone the release, or there are some big risk to do it by this time? And when did you tell them about it? Yeah, because if they were last to know, they might be very surprised, yeah, that you didn't inform them sooner. So first of all, remember that even if you have like a glimpse, like a small hint that something might go wrong and you cannot meet the deadline, inform the team and inform the stakeholders about it to give them a good overview, and maybe they will came up with you with the plan what you can do to meet the deadline. Then think about it. If the reason you choose to not have this release is really valid, and in some cases it's like convincing yourself that maybe it isn't or maybe it is. Yeah, so you have to be very strict about it. I strongly recommend it to make a list pro and cons. So think about what might happen if you do not go on the production, and what might happen if you go with this bugs or with this security issue or anything that you came up that for you is a very reason to not go to the production. Yeah, and you can also discuss it with the team. Yeah, what do they think? You can also explain that to the stakeholders, to a product owner, to a project manager, yeah, to everyone that can add something here. And all together, think about it if the reason is valid. Then make sure that everyone understands why the reason is valid. Yeah, exactly the same list that you use to convince yourself that the reason is valid, you can use right now, yeah, to explain everyone why that we shouldn't go with this version. Yeah, what are the main risks? What might happen if we doing this way? And especially this kind of list and this understanding will be very helpful if you have to talk with the business, or if the product owner needs to go with this information to the business. Yeah, so good understanding why is the reason behind stopping the release might make your communication with stakeholders much more easier. So make sure that everyone understands the validation of this reason. And then there is a time you should take for yourself and think what you can do as a QA earlier. So first of all, if there was a better time to inform about it, if you were informing about the situation to the team at the very beginning, what additional tests might help to find it previously, further earlier, not so late, and think about it. Yeah, what make yourself retro with your work, and think about it what you can do in the same situation in the future. Yeah, how you can avoid stopping launching next time with the project. Okay, so there was the first allegation. Yes, I was saying, just also remember to talk about the team after it happened, what you can do as a whole together as a team to prevent those kind of situations in the future. Okay, second allegation that I sometimes hear from our customers, and also from other QAs. For example, if we have a team of more than one QA in a team, those test scenarios do not check anything we need. Yeah, like our customer don't understand why you are testing things like that. And I have a good example. It's not regarding the testing, but it's more about the way of some customers thinking, especially if they are not very connected with IT itself and do not exactly understand how the software development works. So a few years back, we have a customer with very tight budget. And he was like, okay, we cut the scope, with everything. We don't need to do things, just make the main feature and it will be okay. And one of his great idea was to do not have a restore password, but because he decided that, okay, the time that our developers will spend on restoring password, but they can do something else. And we were like, okay, but we have login, so you have user that need to be registered and login. So like, it's for us, it was like a logical part of the software that you also need to have a way to restore your password. And we were explaining this to him, and he was like, they can have another account if they forget the password. Like, okay, but still not. And after, I think, 2 days of talking through with him, we finally convinced him that it's necessary to have restore password. And the same situation might happen when, for example, when our customers see our test scenarios in Jira and they thinking, why are you have some edge cases? No one will be using this software the same way that you propose here in a test scenario. So what you can do in this kind of situation, first of all, show if this test scenario you propose, even if they are just very rarely appearing situation, however still possible, how they protect the business goal you have with this application. Yeah, and if it's okay for you to explain that to your stakeholder, why he need those kind of tests, why you are wanna check those kind of paths, and what might be potential risk if you don't, and what might be the consequences for the company if you don't, maybe this help them understand why you also need to test things that they are not so obvious to everyone. Then think about and explain what you're based on the test scenarios. You can base them, of course, of your experience. You can base them on the good practices. You can also base them, for example, from the information you get from the developer team. Yeah, maybe they suggest that some parts of the application need special testing because of some libraries that have been used, or maybe the potential risks from security reasons. So just explain why you choose, on base what you choose those kind of test scenarios than the others. And what's more, if there is anyone, it's good to have someone that can confirm the things you want to test it. For example, the product owner might be this person that you can came with test scenarios and ask, okay, I would like to test because of this reason. Do you agree it's a good idea? Of course, stakeholders might be also this person if he knows or she knows how exactly the application will work, because it's not obvious sometimes. And sometimes it might be your team manager, it might be another QA that you have in the team. It's good to have, second opinion about test scenarios to be 100% sure that they will cover what you really need. And this is how you can proceed with situation like that. Remember that your experience you have might also help in the discussion, because you can give real life experience examples to the stakeholders. Okay, and the last accusation I presented, it was, I'm not gonna test this, is dangerous and difficult. I think those of you who were working as a QA for at least a year, I think it's just enough time to came with this conclusion that sometimes work as a QA is just boring, because you need to test the same thing for many times, especially if you work in a product company. This might happen really often, that you are testing the same test scenario over and over again. And first of all, what you can do, think about, is it possible to automate those tests? Yeah, because for example, login or registration are that kind of things that are really, in most cases, really simple to just automate. So think about it. Even if you do not exactly know how to do this, maybe there is someone else in the team, in the company, that might help you, or maybe there will be a chance for you to learn something more. Yeah. So at this moment, think about if it could be automated or not. If not, think about what its difficulties. Yeah, what are you don't like doing those tests? Is it because it's dumb and you feel that you are not doing work that have any impact? Or maybe the reason is because you don't like testing on mobile devices and you like more testing on website, or any other things that might appear here. Yeah, maybe the problem is that you have to wait for testing data for so long that the test itself doesn't take you so much time. However, waiting for testing data is like horrifying, and you're already bored when you started. Yeah, think about all those difficulties and think how you can solve them. Yeah, you have to, because sometimes you know that something bothering you, but you don't know exactly why. And when you understand why something is bothering you, it's easier to solve this situation. So then you need to think about why I'm so frustrated with those tests. Then think about it, how you can make them less boring. I remember a few years back a situation that I was testing adding comments to articles. And there was no way to automate those tests, because there was a very, very short-term project. There was only QA for half time. So there was no way that we will be able to have automatization here. So I came with a very, very good idea that I started to add comments with very different nicknames. And each time during the daily, we just came up with the team of idea, what kind of nicknames I should have today. And sometimes it was very rare vegetables, very rare fruits. And I know how it sounds. It's like, seriously, you do this at your work? It's like, seriously? But believe me, when you have to test something for a really long time, you need give your brain something that your brain can feel that is creative. And at this moment, only the nicknames were something created that make my test less boring at this time. And it helps. And in the end, it was even our team tradition, that we were picking the best nickname of the week. So, so it helps at this time. And also think about it, do those tests need to be done so frequently? For example, a few weeks ago, I talked with one of my team members, and she was like telling me that she's doing regression tests each morning and she's boring with that. And I was like, okay, but why are you doing this every day? Like, if it's necessary, did you change everything day by day and you need to do regression tests each morning because of the changes you done the previous day? And she was like, no. Okay, so why you do it? Well, because it's my habit. Okay, so if it's your habit, you can change it. Yes, I can. And now she's only doing the test once a week, which is totally enough for the quality assurance purpose. And she's less bored with the things she needs to do. Okay, and in the end, if all those ideas I bring you here will not help, you can always think about how your tests are imported to the whole application and how they affect the quality, the security, UX, anything. And maybe this will give you this feeling that, okay, it's boring, I don't like it, but yet it's a good work and it's have a purpose. Because if you feel that your work, even if it's dumb, has a purpose, then it's a little bit less dumb and boring to do it. So maybe you should think about it also. Okay, so if we, I don't see any questions, so I think we can proceed. So another thing I would like to show, told you about is how to show QA business value to the stakeholders. Because this is the part where sometimes you need to a little bit fight for your role in a team. First of all, you have to think about your work, like express yourself to. Okay, should I answer the questions now or should we wait to the end of presentation? Okay, I can answer now because, okay, so I will read the question in Polish, or okay, so maybe I will read it in English. Okay, so how you manage to work with the situation where is a lot of time pressure to give the product, and there is some fights between QA team and developer team. Well, to be honest, I think I won't say something that you don't already know. I think the key here is communication and calm down the emotions, yeah, because this is something I mentioned at the very beginning, yeah. The developer teams might have the same feelings like the stakeholder has in so this kind of situation, yeah. They were disappointed because they are hoping that some part of their work will be finished and they finally push something to the production and they will like, yeah, we succeed, yeah. And now you're telling them that it's not gonna happen because of, and you put here the right reason why. So first of all, once again, you have to explain the team why you have doubts that it's a good idea to go to the production, and try to understand why this pressure came from, yeah, because why you need to go to the production, because sometimes it's really nothing you can do about it. For example, there was a huge marketing campaign of new product and you just have to go to the production because you already have the posters with the date of launch presented. We have the situation with Cyberpunk, yeah. I know from the friend that works in this company that the QA told them that this is not a good idea because the product isn't ready, and yet they go to the production and you all see what happened. So you need to understand where the pressure came from and if there is any chance to do something about it. If not, then you can go together with the team, with the solution, what you can do, yeah? Like if there is any possibilities that maybe you will release a part of the system if it's possible, and then you get some patches after a few weeks when you fix the whole things that you mentioned that should be on a production yet. So yeah, and the most important part here is to communicate with each other and to understand both sides, and together came with idea how to solve it. Yeah, I hope I don't know if it's enough for this question. This person feels like I answered or not. But what I was focusing in about is what the communication, the team to give this understanding on both sides, and came up with the idea what to do together, because in the end you are the team, and it's mutual. You want the same goal, you want to have a good quality product on production, yeah. So you have to come up with idea what you can do about it together, not against each other. It will never work if you will work against each other. That's not how it should be in a Scrum team. I will talk about this a little bit more later. Okay, I assume that I answered this question. So yeah, I think we can go further. Okay, so as I was saying, you have to present yourself to the stakeholders to help them understand why they need you in the Scrum team. And I always ask my my QAs when they are starting a new project, especially if they start a project with a client that is doing something else. It's not work in IT business, and don't exactly understand how the development works. So make a statement, a kind of expose about yourself, where you will explain what you are going to do as a QA. What is your role? How you're gonna work? What this stakeholder might get from you, yeah, and make them understand that you are the person that is like in their team, yeah, because you will try to achieve, we will help them achieve their business goal, and you understand their needs, you know how to talk to them. That's why I was mentioned before that it's good to have experience from different places, because it's easier to talk with the business, it's easier to talk with the stakeholders. And on the other side, you know how to talk with the developers team, you understand them, you can explain the business goal that our customer have to them. So you are like a, I don't know, double agent here. So you play for both teams in the same time. So this is the first thing that stakeholders, that our customers should understand why they need QA in their team. You can also define during this expose with our stakeholders what the quality means for them for this project. If it means, for example, it might mean that the project will be very nice. It will be very UX friendly. It will be very user friendly. It will have all accessibility aspects that you can even imagine. Yeah, and if you know that, you can provide the test that will meet with their quality standards. You can suggest something to them. Yeah, like what will be a good quality solution for them based on what they are doing. So first of all, it's good to explain what's your role here, and then define with stakeholders what you can offer them. Then you have to remember you are expert here. Yeah, when you talk with the business, even if you just start, yeah, show you're an expert here. Yeah, you understand the testing process, you understand development process, and you can suggest some solutions that will be exactly tailor-made more or less for them. So present yourself like a person who knows what she is doing. Then treat quality as a service. It's not like a test. I think the time that tester was a tester, there was just clicking on test scenarios, and that was all, are long gone. Sorry, but it is. Now, as a quality assurance, you need to take care of very different aspects of development. Of course, testing will be still the main part of your work, but you also should take care of, for example, how the documentation is looking, how you have this project in Jira, if all the tasks meet definition of ready and definition of done. This is also a part of your job. Yeah, you even in some cases it's good to see what is the well-being of the team, yeah, because you are the person that probably work with everyone in this team, yeah. So your role is also to know if the work is going smoothly in every edge of the software development, yeah. So you provide a service of quality rather than just tests. Of course, during the time that you are spending in the project, and probably at the end of the project, you will be the person that will have the most accurate, up-to-date knowledge about the application, and you can use it as on your behalf, because from my experience, in the end of the project, you probably know the application much better than any other part of the team, even better than the product owner, yeah, because you work with it every day. You will be the first user of this application. So explain that to your stakeholders, that, guys, I am the person that will see your product as a first. Yeah, I will know how it will look like. I will know how it will be work. And I understand what it's going to do. And I understand your business goal. So believe me, I can give you a good overview about how it's work and how is it going, and if it's good or not. So please remember that and explain that to the stakeholders. And if that's not help, you can always have some studies. I checked it yesterday, 2 very interesting studies about how QA, a team where there's a QA and developer team, works better. So according to Casper Jones, that I'm reading those, that's why I'm looking in the other side. According to the studies that were taken last year, having a QA team dedicated to the project give you even 25 less bugs at the production, of course, and less rework to improve the quality of application. And project cost due to this fact might be reduced over the 30%. And McKinsey report also shows very interesting studies that the likelihood of meet budget and time estimations in teams where are QAs can be up to 50%. Yeah, so you can just tell your stakeholders, okay, so if you have me on board, there is 50% more chance that we'll meet time and budget. So consider that. In the end, I think it's kind of cost efficiency for you, rather than creating a cost that you think you do not need. Okay, and of course you can also explain that how they can reuse your work, because from my experience, I know if you have a good test scenarios, it not take you a long time to prepare documentation from it, or even user manual. Yeah, so just explain to them that, okay, you can reuse my work. Yeah, now you have to pay for it, but then you can use it with your own team. Yeah, so it's also good to show how they can reuse your work. Okay, just a moment. Is there any questions to this part? Okay, maybe I will wait a minute because I didn't wait previously and there a question appeared, but I think not this time. Okay, so how you can teach your team to be responsible for quality? This is a maybe not hard question, but this is something I always want to highlight it with my team. That okay, you are QA, but your whole team is responsible for the quality of the software you are doing. It's not that it's only your responsibility. You are, as a team, responsible for it, yeah, as a whole. So of course, QAs, this is our main duty to take care of it. However, we need to sometimes we need to explain our teammates, developer teammates, that they're also their responsibility. So what you can do in this kind of situation? First of all, explain the same differences that you explained the stakeholders, that you are not a tester. Yeah, it's not like I'm going happily clicking on your application and that's all, and checking if it's burned down if I add too many marks somewhere or do something crazy. No, it's not like this. I am a quality assurance person, and my work here is to take care of course, testing, but also taking care of Jira, meeting the customer requirements, meeting the business goal here. And my role here is this and this. And it's good to explain that at the very beginning of our cooperation. You can have the same expose like you have to the stakeholders. What is your role in the project and how you will affect the quality, and then you can also expand it how they can do it, which I will tell you a little bit more further. Okay, as you already know, because you talk with the stakeholders, what is the definition of quality for this project? You now can explain that to the team. Yeah. So the things you already know from the stakeholders, you now can talk about it with the team, make sure that they understand, and then talk with them how they can meet with the quality standards you agree on. Just make them think about it. What can they do? Maybe which kind of, maybe how they can use clear code or stuff like this. Yeah, but make them think how they can affect quality of this project. Then, which is a little bit controversial idea, and I'm really a fan of this solution, but not all developers like it. But what the things that really improve the quality of the software and gives you maybe not less work as a QA, but allows you to be very more efficient as a QA, is when they're doing a code review with actually running the code. It means that when before they give you something to test, they check if the basics test scenario or the happy paths are working, and you do not have the situation like you try to log in and you give 500 exception at the very beginning and you cannot test because someone didn't check if the migration stop or if they have do the right thing in the task. So I'm very strongly convincing to ask your developers to do code review with actually running the code, not just looking at the code, because it really makes the work smooth for you. Okay, you can also give them tools, because not all developers using, for example, Lighthouse, or okay, they know the basic dev tools you have in Chrome, but they don't use Lighthouse, or they do not know exactly which accessibility tools might help them if they work. So if you use something and it's helpful for you, that must also might help them. So just explain them what kind of tools you use for testing, and maybe they need some of them, maybe they don't know them. So I'll give them the tools that make their work a little bit more smooth. And what's also sometimes make miracles is a bug bash. I don't know if you ever heard about this kind of activities. Well, basically, bug bash is happy testing for about 1 hour. You ask the whole team members to you give them the application. They have 1 hour and they can just test whatever they like. Yeah, and in the end, the person that will find the best bug receives gummy bears or diploma or anything. Believe me, it might be a small prize for the person who finds the funniest bug or the bigger number of bugs. You get the information about the quality of application. They knew something more about the application, and you have the chance to check things that didn't came up to your as idea. So yeah, it's bug bash sometimes help to improve and to check the quality of the application. Okay, and I don't know why the presentation stops. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so to sum up, because I see we have like 10 minutes left, and I would like to finish on time. So yeah, to sum up what I was just saying for the previous 30 minutes, why are you the guardians of quality? First of all, as I was saying, the times that you are just testing test scenarios probably prepared by someone else are long gone. You have to be aware what's going on the market. You have to be aware of the tools that you can use. And you need to know that, especially now when the budget are reduced, when the number of team members is reduced, it's good to be a person that can, for example, make tests, but also can be, I don't know, business analyst or a Scrum Master. It's good to, because I always like to think about the QAs like the person that can help with many different parts of software development. So so think about which part it's good for you. Maybe it's automatization test. Maybe you are good in, I don't know, meeting with the clients, yeah, and you can take care of them. Sure, why not? But unfortunately, the time that you can only have a testing and that's all as a QA, it's long gone. So sorry for that. Please remember, you have the biggest knowledge about the application and you have to choose it wisely. You can be a support for the team. You can help them to understand, to prepare good task descriptions. So remember about your knowledge, and that probably you are the most creative person in the room, because in many cases this is the truth. Maybe those of you who works as a QA for a longer time, you know that sometimes the test scenario that you came up are so for other people it's like, how you didn't find it, how you came up with this idea. So yeah, QAs are very creative persons, so remember remember that. Yeah, and I also like to think about the QAs like you're a Swiss Army knife in a Scrum team, which I already mentioned. So you can be this person, yeah, you can take part in a Scrum team from the very different angles. Even in design, I have QA that sometimes help with the design team. So yeah, find your place that you can also be good at, different than just being a tester. And what I also highly recommend is to change the thinking about QAs. This is a small spoiler from our recruitment process. During our recruitment process, I always give people this question: what is QA do? What is the QA role? And if I heard as an answer that the QA is a person who is looking for the whole in already done software, yeah, like szuka dziury w całym, because I didn't find the right example how to explain it in English. And then I hear something like that, it's like, okay, so I don't think we will find a way of connect to each other, because from my perspective, from this 10 years I have now as a QA, I really like to think about QAs like the person who is proving that something is working, yeah, because you are the part of the team from the very beginning. And if in the end you find a lot of bugs, it also means that you didn't do the right job at the very beginning, yeah. So you didn't tell the team that, okay, you have to think about this, this, and that during the refinement, during the task description. So basically, in my opinion, good QA is a person that is in the team for the whole time and proves that the thing that you all together provide at the end has a good quality, rather than just find the bugs. And this is also a bit about the question I have previously. You work as a team from the very beginning. And if you work as a team from the very beginning, I hope in the end you won't have the situation that there is a QA against developer, because in the end you should be at the very beginning, and in the end you should be a team. And this approach, I think, is really helping to have a smooth going development and nice place to work with. And of course, always remember to adapt to the customer needs. As I was saying, if they need you to, I don't know, prepare some manual for the users, you can do that. Or if they ask you to show stakeholders how the application works, be my guest. In most cases, you are the best person to conduct the demo for stakeholders. Yeah. So just adapt. To adapt what the customer needs, and of course use all the tools that are available. ChatGPT was there was some headlines that ChatGPT will probably move out the QAs. It didn't happen. However, it helped to have a nice test scenarios, but still it needs a prompt from someone more creative than AI. So check what tools are available. Of course, be up to date and use them wisely. Okay, so this is the quote I would like to leave here. So in times when the role of QA is constantly changing, try to be the part of solution, not part of the problem. And we might end here. However, I told you that will be a special scene after credits. And when I was preparing myself to this presentation today, I was thinking, okay, what I can say that will be strictly for girls, yes, strictly for women. And I was thinking, okay, so maybe I say something about communication, yeah, because communication is very important in QA role. And it's common true about women that they are good in communications, especially if there is a team of only men and they have a woman, probably they will be less fighting, stuff like this. But it's, first of all, it's a cliche. Second of all, some women have good communication skills, some doesn't, and it's okay. And what's even more, what's the worst part of it is that many girls are just don't fight for themselves, and that's why are going to the compromise, because they do not have strength to fight for their rights. So no, I won't tell you that. So just if you go to compromise because you are scared to say what you want, don't do it. So okay, this one will not be good to tell you today. Then I was thinking, okay, so maybe I will say something about multitasking, because there's a common truth about women, they are very good in multitasking. But yet what came to my mind, okay, but we have to be multitasking, yeah, because we, in some cases, we have homes and job and other stuffs to do. So no, I won't tell that because it's another cliche. Then I was thinking that maybe I will tell you something about what I have common with my other friends from my company and other friends that also work in IT, that we can have, ideas of very catastrophic scenarios that might happen. And we have backup plan to the backup plan, yeah? Maybe I will tell something about it. And what came to my mind once again, but okay, as a woman, we have to, because it's really, the society wants us to have a backup plan to everything and, to just be a best with everything. So no, I won't tell you that because I don't like this idea of being woman, no. And then something better came to my mind, because I was really devastated that I cannot give you something optimistic at the end. And then something else came to my mind. I didn't mention that I also work in IT Girls Foundation. IT Girls Foundation is a team of girls. We have some boys, but there are teams of women, to be honest. We are going to schools, to kindergarten, meeting with kids, with boys also, and tell them about the technology itself. And also we are reading them books. The books, there are stories that you know from your childhood. It's Cinderella, Hans and Gretel, but they are up to date, and they shows how the main characters use the technology and give some more activity and being aware and make changes by female part of the book. Yeah, so we give girls information that they can do. They can be a hero in the story. Yeah, and why we are doing this in kindergartens? Because there are studies that show that girls until 5 years old thinks about themselves just the way that they can do anything like the boys. They see the difference between boys and girls, but they don't see it as things that might affect their life and affect that what they can do or they cannot do. And this is something I would like to leave you with, that please be self-aware and self-confident as a 4-year-old girl, that don't believe that you're being a woman, it might not allow you to do things. Yeah, so just put it aside. Yeah, if you're good in something, just be good at something, and your gender should not affect that. Yeah, and I am a mother of a 4-year-old, and I wish I was so self-confident as she is. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Thank you, and we still have 1 minute for questions, so if you have any, please do. I will answer them now, and maybe I will stop sharing because this is the end of the presentation. Oh, okay. I mogę odpowiadać na pytania po polsku, może tak będzie prościej. Or in English, wherever you like. W jaki sposób można lepiej zintegrować QA z pozostałymi etapami tworzenia oprogramowania, aby nie byli postrzegani jako ostatnia bariera przed wypuszczeniem produktu? Ja myślę, że najlepszym sposobem, odpowiem już po polsku, będzie szybciej. Ja myślę, że najlepszym sposobem na to jest po prostu bycie QA-em, czy rolę QA wprowadzania od samego początku istnienia projektu. My mamy taką zasadę, której staramy się przestrzegać, że często QA są już na etapie warsztatów z klientem, takich wiecie, początkowych, bardzo technicznych nawet, po to, żeby od samego początku ten QA miał realny wpływ na to, jakby jak chociażby poukładamy sprinty, albo jakby jaka będzie jego rola. Więc ja jestem zwolennikiem tego, żeby po prostu QA był tą osobą w zespole, która się po prostu pojawia w nim od samego początku i nawet jeżeli jest to słynne zdanie, co QA będzie robił podczas pierwszego sprintu, gdy jeszcze nie ma nic do testów, no będzie na przykład opisywał zadania, będzie przygotowywał scenariusze testowe. Także myślę, że przede wszystkim trzeba przedstawić QA jako jakby wiecie, jakby stały element zespołu, który musi się w nim znaleźć i tyle. I jakby tak to powinno wyglądać, tak, że jesteśmy wspólną drużyną, każdy w tej drużynie ma swoje role, ale jest jakby od początku w tej drużynie, tak, i po prostu zajmuje się tą jakością od samego początku i też tutaj ważne jest to, żeby jakby ustalić sobie takie zasady gry z zespołem swoim, że nie dostajecie wszystkiego na ostatnie 2 dni sprintu i jesteście potem wąskim gardłem, bo znowu przez was nie można zamknąć zadań, tylko jednak by poukładać tą pracę tak, żeby wszystkie osoby będące w zespole mogły sobie smooth pracować, w sensie wiecie, płynnie, więc unikałabym po prostu takiej sytuacji, że QA dostaje coś na koniec do testów, bo to się nigdy nie sprawdza, to backbasha można sobie zrobić na końcu i spoko, ale QA powinien być częścią zespołu od samego początku i ja będę zawsze bardzo mocno broniła tego podejścia. I drugie pytanie, czy widzisz różnicę w postrzeganiu roli QA w mniejszych firmach w porównaniu do większych korporacji? Widzę i paradoksalnie uważam, że w mniejszych organizacjach, jak się jest QA-em, to jest się w stanie dużo więcej nauczyć. I tutaj jakby posłużę się przykładem własnym, bo jak ja zaczynałam w firmie, w której teraz pracuję, myśmy mieli tutaj chyba 70 osób wszystkich, było 7 QA-ów i nasza praca była podzielona tak, że codziennie dostawaliśmy inny projekt do testów, tak? Jeszcze wtedy nie mieliśmy takiego podejścia, że właśnie QA był częścią projektu od początku, ale to nie był ta sama osoba QA, tylko to były po prostu, rola była, ale QA się zmieniał jakby co tydzień na przykład, albo nawet codziennie. I to było ciężkie, ta jakby zmiana kontekstu była trudna, natomiast paradoksalnie pozwoliła mi się bardzo dużo nauczyć, tak? No, nie miałam przede wszystkim tej nudy, ale pozwoliła mi się bardzo dużo nauczyć, właśnie z tego względu, że jako, że była to mała organizacja, to ja musiałam w różne role też wskakiwać, w zależności od tego, w którym projekcie się znalazłam, więc mogłam jakby wiecie, poznać trochę i nie wiem, i automatyzacji, i testowania na przykład API. W innym projekcie było trochę więcej jakby z opisywania zadań, więc mogłam poznać jakby jak wygląda ta rola BA. Więc jakby uważam, że w mniejszych organizacjach można się dużo więcej nauczyć. Pewnie ta praca jest, wiecie, może być trudniejsza, może być większym wyzwaniem, ale zdecydowanie w mniejszych organizacjach może być dużo ciekawsza i też mniejsza organizacja daje Wam większą możliwość wpłynięcia na pewne procesy, tak? Bo ten proces QA-owy, który ja mam w mojej obecnej firmie, ja pracuję już 8 lat, znaczy 7 z hakiem, więc jakby ten proces QA-owy, który mamy tutaj, jest jakby z dołu, myśmy na niego wpadli, w sensie ten zespół QA-ów, który tutaj jest od dawna, wypracował taki proces, który nam najbardziej pasował, tak? Bo właśnie dlatego, że byliśmy wtedy jeszcze małą organizacją i mogliśmy to zrobić. Natomiast w korporacji nie mówię, że jest to niemożliwe, ale z wielu względów będzie dużo trudniejsze do zrobienia, bo jakby ja też pracowałam przez jakiś czas w korporacji i no w korporacjach są już pewne zasady ustalone z góry, których trzeba się stosować, które się tam sprawdzają, bo przy dużym, wiecie, wolumenie osób do zarządzania pewne rzeczy muszą być usystematyzowane i ustrukturyzowane, żeby po prostu móc zarządzać tymi ludźmi i tam można na przykład, nie wiem, pewnie w korporacjach ma się dostęp do większej ilości fajnych narzędzi, tak, bo często korporacje dysponują jakby większym budżetem, można też na przykład korzystać z tych wszystkich płatnych narzędzi Microsoftu, tak, których w mniejszych organizacjach nie ma i nauczyć się tego do testów tam, więc jakby w każdej z tych pracy mogą być jakieś fajne rzeczy, które wpłyną na Twój rozwój, natomiast ja osobiście uważam, że w mniejszej organizacji jako QA ma się większe pole do popisu i większą szansę po prostu na rozwinięcie tak kreatywnie swoich skrzydeł jako QA. Dobrze, to cała odpowiedź na moje pytanie. Nie wiem, czy są jeszcze jakieś inne, bo już jesteśmy trochę po czasie. Okej, dobrze, no to z mojej strony to wszystko, mam nadzieję, że się podobało, przepraszam, że na koniec już po polsku, ale z racji braku czasu uznałam, że tak po prostu będzie nam szybciej. Oczywiście zapraszam też do kontaktu na moim LinkedInie, gdyby ktoś miał jeszcze pytania po prezentacji i dziękuję Wam bardzo.